cryptocurrency fraud. Attorney Nicolas Ossut, who represents some 25 Argentine and foreign victims, summoned the heads of the libertarian government and other officials for May 15th, alleging a direct damage estimated at $4.5 million. This would be a preliminary hearing, a mandatory mediation prior to the filing of a civil lawsuit for damages. This Tuesday marked 2 months since the crypto scandal, which began when President Javier Milei promoted the purchase of the Libra cryptocurrency through the social network X. The token afterwards fell sharply, causing millionaire losses and fraud allegations. Also in Argentina, the General Confederation of Labor calls for a new march for next April 30. During the mobilization meeting, the union leaders also began to discuss a change in the strategy of struggle against the adjustment policies of the government of Javier Milei. Pensioners and students organizations will also be called to join the mobilizations, which will be reproduced in the capitals of the provinces. It is expected that could be an important mobilization because the income of Argentinians has declined. There is repression and also an agreement with the International Monetary Fund that will condition the destinies of many Argentinians to continue doing carry trade. In Brazil, women's organizations, students and family members of Tainara Santos continue to demand justice in a demonstration in Cachoeira after the femicide of the 27-year-old. Those who gather seek effective action by the authorities for a sentence for the murder of the young woman who disappeared after meeting with her ex-partner Jorge Anderson Santos last October 9, 2024, against whom she had a protection order. In 2024, Brazil registered a total of 1,459 femicides. Moreover, since the approval of the law that created the crime of femicide 10 years ago, the southern country has registered at least 11,859 victims until January 2024. This Tuesday, the Peruvian justice system sentenced former President Ollanta Humala to 15 years in prison for alleged aggravated money laundering. The former President Ollanta Humala was condemned for the crime of aggravated money laundering in the modality of conversion and concealment of illicit assets in the context of the 2006 and 2011 electoral campaigns. The court also sentenced former First Lady Nadine Heredia to 15 years in prison for her involvement. However, Heredia did not attend the hearing. One of the arguments of the magistrates to convict Humala and his wife, Heredia, was that 57 contributors to the 2006 campaign and 55 contributors to the 2011 campaign denied having made deposits registered with the National Office of Electoral Processes to the Nationalist Party. In this context, the government of Brazil granted diplomatic asylum to former Peruvian First Lady Nadine Heredia. Peruvian executive granted a safe conduct to the First Lady so that she can travel to the South American country. The Peruvian Ministry of Foreign Affairs detailed that the government has provided the warranties for the transfer of Heredia as well as her son Samir Humala. Heredia remained in the Brazilian embassy in Lima after the sentence. The Brazilian government requested the departure of the asylum seekers, and the territorial state is obligated to give immediately the necessary warranties and the corresponding safe conduct. Venezuela is moving towards the conformation of a new state where the communes are the protagonists. Do you want to know how these communal projects have advanced in Venezuela? Let's take a look at the following report by our colleague Leonardo Rieta.
This commune, located in the state of Miranda, in the north-central part of the country, is composed by 5 communal councils. The organized community has executed 3 projects approved in the popular consultations that have been carried out in this country.
The first project of 2024 is where we are right now. It is this wall that we recovered, 27 meters by 6 meters, 0.20 wide. And well, we made this boulevard that you can see where we are right now. It took us 20 days to make this wall, and we already had the whole program since it fell in 2020.
The works approved was the construction of 132 stairs to facilitate the mobility of the elderly, as in the case of Mr. Jesus Gonzalez, 65 years old, who had been unable to leave his house for 2 years.
Este proyecto fue el que tanto estábamos esperando, debido a que
This project was the one we were waiting for, because the stairs were very, very damaged. They were not as safe as they are now with the handrails, and with this we all benefit. Some of us can go out more than others because of the health difficulties we have. Some more than others can go out now to do the errands we want. And this project came as a surprise, because we had been waiting for it for a long time. And the day it came, it was a blessing for us. Well, we are asking the citizens themselves, look, these are the projects. Which one is the most convenient for you? Which is the most convenient for the community? For the benefit of all this is the initial part, and from then on people will realize that it is worth it.
Local residents prepare to elect new projects in the fourth popular consultation to be held on April 27th.
The participation more than anything else of the communities, of the people, the members of our community. They are the participants. They are the ones who guarantee the projects, so the importance of celebrating that day is that the whole community participates so that their dream becomes a reality.
Adriana Gonzalez is one of the beneficiaries of the 200 communal warehouses that have been inaugurated in the sector.
Today we offer delicatessen, we offer groceries, and today we are, as they say, enlarged. Now we are going to offer protein, and we are going to offer vegetables, fruits and vegetables. But this is an opportunity to offer a more complex service to the community.
We have to ensure that these bodegas, that this plan, which is framed in the José Antonio de Sucre plan, is a plan that truly delivers to each territory what the plan means for the communal bodega.
The communes work under the national development plan known as the Seven Transformations, promoted by the Venezuelan government, which seeks to build a new state.
En la Cámara de Marcos da Silva, Leonardo Urrieta, Telesur, Miranda, Venezuela.
Venezuela categorically rejected the arrival and possible operation of the FPSO-1 Guyana vessel to the Stabroek block, a maritime area pending delimitation. Through an official statement published by the Foreign Minister Ivan Hill, Venezuela described this as an illegal action in a maritime area pending delimitation, where Venezuela maintains historical and legitimate rights. The statement goes on to state that this maneuver, promoted by the government of Guyana in alliance with ExxonMobil, constitutes a violation of fundamental principles of international law, which require refraining from adopting unilateral measures in areas without agreed delimitation. Finally, the government highlights that Venezuela does not recognize any concession granted in this area and warns the companies involved that they may be subject to legal action and that they will not be granted any rights over the illegally exploited resources. The statement ended by reaffirming Venezuela's commitment to peace, underscoring it will continue defending its sovereignty. This Wednesday, Cubans remember a new anniversary of the declaration of the socialist character of the revolution. 64 years ago, on April 16, 1961, Fidel Castro addressed the crowds gathered at the corner of 23rd and 12th in Havana during an act honoring the victims of recent U.S. bombings. At that moment, the Cuban leader ratified before the people and the world that the revolution was socialist in nature, as the workers vowed to defend their conquest. Every year, Cubans gather at the same corner of the capital city to remember and ratify that same commitment. The Argentine President Javier Milei and his sister Karina Milei were summoned to a prejudicial hearing for the Libra cryptocurrency fraud. Attorney Nicolas Ossut, who represents some 25 Argentine and foreign victims, summoned the heads of the libertarian government and other officials for May 15th, alleging a direct damage estimated at $4.5 million. This would be a preliminary hearing, a mandatory mediation prior to